I was
Hey,
dancing too.
me too. It's a little vibe, right? Welcome to Wide Awoke Wednesday for another episode with Queen Essence
Tiffany Marie.
and my
But what?
I was saying, and my co-host Tiffany Marie, and we are blessed to have with us today the founder of Post Poetry Magazine and the vision behind Wide Awoke Wednesdays. Poetically soulful. Woo!
Love it, love it, love it.
So we're just gonna chop it up and catch a vibe so that our viewers can get to know us. So if you would, poetically soulful, can you introduce yourselves to our listeners and let them know who you are?
All right, cool, no problem. So my name is Ashanti. But I go by Poetically Soulful. I am the founder of Post Poetry Magazine. Um, and I just love poetry in general. So you're gonna find out from our conversation exactly who I am and what I aim to do.
Yes, ma'am. All right, well, here we are
Yes, in the flesh.
in the flesh. So Tiffany, you was telling us off screen about your event. Did you want to finish that? Because I did have to hit the
uh,
button mid conversation.
yeah, all right. It was okay. The lines were just extremely long. It was like
Mm,
94 degrees outside. The food was okay. It was very diverse, different
mm.
types of food. However, it just wasn't. I didn't like it. I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but it was okay. It was a fun experience because I didn't get a chance to go to the Taste of St. Louis that they have every year, so
Mm.
I had to go to this, and it I don't know. It was okay. It was fun. I had fun.
So what's the name of the event again
The Street Food Festival.
in St. Louis?
Yeah, St. Louis Street Food Festival. I'm sorry.
Gotcha,
So I
gotcha,
had to
gotcha.
do my hair, which is where the hair came from, which was the overall thing. I needed my hair done. My dreads were not.
Dreading?
Yeah, they
They
were
weren't
not. They were
giving.
not.
They weren't giving.
It was not given. It was given. Need a retwist. Need a detox. Need a rewash. Real bad.
Got it. Got it.
So I just
Well,
slapped the.
sometimes that's usually when it looks the best, though, right? In its most natural state.
And then I'm going through
No,
my skeet phase.
your what phase?
My skeet phase. My little
What's
What's a skeet?
little hair. Little.
Oh, when it's
They were.
short.
Yeah.
When
When
it's
they
short.
short.
When the dress is short. Got you, got you. I'm following. I'm following.
okay? Because I haven't heard skeet and locks be in the same sentence before, but okay,
Really?
Maybe
That
yeah,
that maybe
it's a
that's
St. Louis thing. Maybe
I was just
maybe.
about to say that because I was like, "What's skeet?"
Yeah,
I heard
only
the
time I heard
song.
Skeet was in that song.
Yeah,
Skeet, skeet,
ski.
skeet, skeet. Yeah, that's. I'm like, wait, what,
And I don't
ma'am?
think it had to do with dreads. I don't think so.
Maybe
No.
that's why she blonde. We don't know. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
Oh boy.
Oh
Just
man,
play it. Just
the
play it.
words. Yeah, maybe I'm
Oh man.
gonna sip to that.
Yes. Yes.
So
The visual.
let our viewers know where everyone from. Obviously, Tiffany Marie is from.
St.
Yeah,
Louis, Missouri.
yeah, yeah. Queen Essence.
So I'm originally from Connecticut, byway in the highways of many places, and I have settled in the DMV.
Nice. The highways and
Yeah.
byways. Well, if we doing
Yes, I've been all over
originals,
this place.
I'm originally from Rochester, New York. But I currently reside in Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
Florida, beach life.
So
Ooh.
can I be the oddball to ask what's DMV?
don't be the oddball. Be the person that's going to ask because somebody else might want to know. Um,
Okay.
so,
Okay.
so DMV is the combination of DC, Washington DC, Maryland, and Northern Virginia. So it's like the same principle, the tri-state on the East Coast, whereas New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut is considered the tri-state. So they did
Mhm.
a thing where they combined DC, Northern. You got to be specific, Northern Virginia and Maryland, because they're so close to. Excuse me, because they're so close together. So in short, they call it the DMV.
Okay. Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense. Okay. I was like, I've never heard of that, but
I've
Yeah.
only known that because I used to live in Baltimore, Maryland, so
Mm-hmm.
that's why
Mm-hmm.
I know, but yeah.
And then that's a whole nother conversation because they don't even include Baltimore in the Maryland. It's
Nope.
like Baltimore is its own entity, which is so weird to me as a transplant, but the people from here, they get it. So Baltimore is its own thing. It's not part of when you say Maryland. It's not part of that.
Correct. That
Yeah.
is correct.
Yeah.
Dead weird.
Yeah.
oh,
But
okay. Give
listen,
me a second. I got to step away for a second.
yes,
No
ma'am.
problem. So, Miss Essence, you celebrated a birthday recently.
And
Virgo, Virgo, Virgo,
Virgo
Virgo.
season. Yes, yes. I
So, for
did.
all the
Another
listeners,
rotation around the sun. Say that again.
absolutely, absolutely. So, for all the listeners, let them know what you did. What's going on in the life of a Virgo?
Well, this year it was a little light. Last year I traveled out of the country for 10 days. I went to Portugal. So this year I did it a little light. I went to the Usher concert because Usher was out here in the DMV. He did like three shows out here. Oh, and I'm gonna include Baltimore too. Out here in the DMV in Baltimore because he did a show in Baltimore. So so I went to the Usher concert. First time seeing him in concert, and it was wonderful. He's a hell of a performer, and to be in his 40s, he's setting quite the bar for these brothers in their 40s. Yeah, he did his thing. And then I did a beach outing, and that was really nice. It was a beach I haven't been to out here in Maryland, so that was really nice. And then I got all dressed up in my beautiful dress and my heels, and I went out to dinner. And
Nice,
it was a great time. The food was delicious. The staff was awesome. A little shout out to the SK, I think that's what it's called, SK Steakhouse. It was the bomb in DC. So yeah, I had a great time. Oh, and then I ended the night by the water. I always go by the water, so I ended the night by the water under the stars. It was a beautiful time.
nice,
Thank
nice.
you
That's
for
so
asking.
absolutely always. I'm gonna ask. Miss Tiffany
That you
Marie is
are.
back.
I am. I am. I'm stuck with the baby today because my daughter's at school, so she's been acting up.
Guess who's back,
Oh,
back, back, back again?
oh. I don't think that young they can actually act up. I think it's just like, hey, I'm here. I want some
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
that's
wanted.
true.
attention.
It is exactly what she wanted. She wanted me to be her face.
Yes. Let her mommy, and we love to see it.
Awesome. I love it. So, you guys are both two amazing, amazing poets. One from the DMV, one from St. Louis.
Mhm.
How would you both say like the poetry scene is out there? I've Queen Essence, I've seen a lot of your videos.
Mhm.
Um, and Tiffany Marie, I've seen a lot of your videos as well. And it seems like people always show up in every event that you guys both have. So would you say the poetry scene is difficult, is hard to break through? You low key celebrities. What's going on?
I'll yield to you, Tiffany Marie.
Okay. So poetry scene here in St. Louis, it's different now. Um, at first it was very well to me, in my opinion anyway. At first it was very like open and loving, and it was a great scene to always want to be on. But now I'm not really sure what's going on with it here. A lot of the mics have stopped. A lot of the people who were doing the mics are not doing them anymore. Um, it's just not a lot of the same stuff that was going on before going on now. I'm not really sure like what's happening with the times, but other than that. when I was in it before, we always had shows. It was always something going on. It was always a lot of people that would come out. Poetry is and always is like a slept on thing in certain cities. And St. Louis is one of those cities that is kind of slept on. Like people, when they think of poetry, they think of
Mm,
sad, emotional,
mm,
in their feeling type of that's when they hear poetry, that's what they think of. So I try to convince them to come out to a show just to hear the different poets, the different people, what they have to bring, what they're talking about, because we're not all talking about the same thing. And so um that's just kind of where we are with it now, just trying to get people to come out and see that poetry is bigger than just being emotional and sad and whatever else they think it is. So I'm just trying to, I like to do my shows and stuff that I do now to give them a different feel than what they think it is for
mm,
them to want to come out. Because I
mhm,
think it's nice. I think poetry is different. I go to a poetry show over a concert. But that's just me.
mhm, 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 mhm. You do slam poetry too, don't you?
I do. I
Right.
do. I
So
do
what's that
slam
scene
poetry.
like? Is that scene different from the regular poetry scene, or is it all inclusive when you were speaking about, what you just expressed?
Oh no, it's different. Slam
Okay.
poetry is a lot different. It's very competitive.
Mhm.
I actually like it more because um you don't have to think about it too much. Not at least not I don't.
Mm,
When you go do slam poetry, you
mm,
go up there and you do it. You do it, you give
mm,
it your all, you don't think too much about it, and you just kind of give them what you got. I feel like with the shows and stuff and the mics we have here, we think too much into it. We give it more thought than we have to because we have time. But when you at a slam, you're timed, you're limited. So you have to give it your best how you give it in that time frame. I love it. It's very competitive. So I enjoy the slam poetry. And I believe kind of like battle poetry go into that too. So all of that together,
mm,
I love it. I love it because I get to be able to freestyle with my poetry and the things that I
mm.
want to say. And so I enjoy it. I love it better than the actual mics and things like that itself.
So is it a difference between slam poetry and battle poetry? It's those are two different things?
Mm, I wouldn't say they are. I wouldn't say they are. I
Mm.
would say they probably are the
Okay.
same, maybe just two different names. With slam
Okay.
poetry, you it's pretty much the same rules. You get 3 rounds. You get a certain amount of time in each round. If you go over, you get points deducted. Things like that. Battle poetry is the
Mm,
same way. So I guess it would
mm,
be the
mm,
same
mhm,
thing. With
mhm,
slam, there's multiple people and you can do group slams. With battle
mhm.
poetry, one person is going against another person, and it's just that. I
Oh,
believe
okay.
that would be the only
Okay.
difference.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so that
question.
would probably okay.
No, you're fine. So, with battle poetry, because I've personally never heard of battle poetry at all. But I think the concept is kind of dope. So is it kind of like if you battle rapping against somebody, like is it freestyle or is it more written than like one
It
written poem
is.
against one written poem?
I don't know. It could be similar to battle rapping, I guess, but in battle poetry, you can't really go to your opponent and be like, I F your mama and F your feelings and kill your daughter. You know how battle rappers be.
Yeah.
Y'all know they get real disrespectful with it. We don't do that in battle poetry. Battle poetry, some people just come up with their best 3 pieces that they have memorized and know that they can give it their all when performing it. And others they pre-write. I'm one of those that pre-write before a battle. So I'll
Mm,
have 2 old pieces that I'll perform and then I'll have a new one that I had just written just particularly for this battle and for
mm.
this person. And I'll get a little disrespectful, but not to where I'm like, we gotta fight or I'm calling them out or calling them out their names or nothing. It's just respectful, disrespectful poetry. How about that?
Yes, yes, yes. That's dope. I love the versatility. That's dope.
It's very
So,
fun.
Queen, that's
so for me, out here in DC, DMV. So first I want to preface with I'm new out here to the scene. I've been out here in this scene for um under a year out here in the DMV. And from what I can see, it's a lot of opportunities to um, for the poets, for the creatives out here. There's a lot of open mics. One of the events that I go to where I post the videos, it's been running for, I think they just celebrated their 12-year anniversary.
Oh wow.
So it's a long standing, you know what I'm saying? It's a long standing platform. And then the location he got is so dope because it's a lounge. Then it has this big old stage, and he can do different things with the background, and it's really dope. And then that's more like I said, it's a lounge, so that brings a certain crowd of people, right? Because people like VIP sections, they like the bottles, they like the lounge feel, and then they get to experience the poets. Then after that, there's an after party. So let me go ahead and shout that platform out, because in my mind I'm just talking, but that platform is called Pure Poetry Live out here. I mean, Pure Poetry. Yeah, no, Pure Poetry. Yeah, Pure Poetry Live, and their event is hosted at Karma DC, and really dope. The host is also a poet, Orville the poet, and he's well known out here in the DC. I mean, of course, running a platform for 12 years. And then there's another platform that draws a different crowd of people. And I think what I experience out here is that there's a place for each kind of crowd. You know what I mean? Because like some people, they go out to poetry events, but they're not into poetry, right? Like this is their first time going. They want to test it out. And the one brother or his team, they set it up in such a way where he attracts people who are not generally into poetry. However, once they get there and they experience the poetry, they keep coming back, right? And I think what Tiffany Marie shared about, most people not realizing that it's so many flavors, right? To poetry and poets. Like it's not always the sad love, you know what I mean? It's not always the, F that, he broke my heart, poetry, you know what I mean? Like it's a variety. And I think that the time we're in now, people are talking on like higher frequencies in their poetry. Like they're elevating what they're speaking about. And I think it's dope. I think it's dope out here. And then even with Baltimore has several open mics in their area. And it's like big ones, and then there's a lot of small ones that I'm still discovering out here, right? So I think it's great. I think the DMV is a great place for a creative to come in and be able to find somewhere to express themselves. Now, when we get into the minute aspect of it, I feel like it's a lot of competition between the poets. Do you see that out there in St. Louis?
All the time. I'm a victim. I'm not gonna say a victim. I'm like guilty of that myself a little bit
Mm,
because I'm a very
mm,
competitive
mm,
person. You know what I'm saying? So when I
mm,
feel like someone thinks that they can with the battle poetry, sometimes it's with other people in your city. You know what I'm saying? And it's mainly for
mm,
bragging rights. So with that itself,
mm-hmm.
that becomes competition. I'm very competitive. So yes, yes, yes.
But I think that's natural with the battle poetry though, right? Because you're legit competing, right? So I think at least that's how I process it. What do you think about it?
I
Um.
mean,
I
go
thought you were
ahead.
asking me.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I mean even without battle poetry, I'm a very competitive person. All the other poets, I like them. I do. No disrespect to them, but I do look at them all with the side eye. Like, yeah,
Now the truth comes out.
yeah, like yeah, like I be looking at them with the side eye. Like I like y'all, yeah, but y'all ain't me. Yeah, y'all ain't. That, and it
Mm,
is a lot of
mm,
competition. It is, and it's a lot of
mm.
women in the poetry game. We don't get this from the fellas. You don't get this from the fellas. They don't
Eh, eh,
care.
mm, mm. I
Oh,
wouldn't.
oh, well,
Mm,
well, maybe
mm.
in DMV, maybe in DMV, because in St. Louis, they do not be caring here.
Well, that's great. That's great. I think a little bit of competition is normal. However, I just feel like because poetry is an art, and it's crazy because I was actually thinking about this yesterday. Poetry is a artistic expression, right? And it's coming from within you, right? Like it's unique. Your expression is unique to you. So it's like, why would I feel like I have to I gotta compete with you because I'm me and you're you. Like we're never gonna be the same. Like, you know what I'm saying? We could use the same words. We could be given a list of the same words to write in a poem, and it have two different frequencies, vibrations, flows. So it's like, child, I'm not competing with you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm here to support. I'm here to support, show love, and express myself. But I noticed that it's a lot of competition. People be throwing and then wait, wait, let me stop because I don't know how what other questions you got poetically soulful because that was a layered question
Nah,
about the
keep
poetry
going. Keep going.
community.
Keep going. I love the meat and potatoes, man. Let's go.
I'm just saying it be real crazy because you don't even realize it be drama in the community. Tiffany, do you experience that out there in St. Louis or you down in Florida? Like it be drama in the community that people be speaking like in the unseen. They be throwing shots, but they don't be calling people out by their names, right? But other people in the community that's like tight in the circles know who's being spoken about. And here I come like, I be like, wait, what is going on? Like, what
That's
happened?
me. That's me. I'm always lost. Lost in the sauce. I don't know nothing. I don't even know who that is you talking about. All the time.
Like, why are you throwing shots? I read one post where this brother was talking about, because you know how most poets they write books. We write books, right? So this one poet had posted and he said, what make y'all think that somebody want to spend $25 on your book and nobody knows you, and I can take that $25 and go buy one of New York's bestseller books? What makes you think that? And I read it, I was like, oops, like, wait, what? Wait, what happened? Why they can't charge $25 for a book? Like,
So people just be throwing shade.
Okay.
yes,
Okay. They threw the whole
yes.
tree. He threw the tree. He ain't throw the shade on
Listen,
the
I was like, wait, why they can't feel like they book is worth $25? Like, wait, what? It was hilarious to me. But at the same time, I was like, yo, it be a lot going on because what?
It do.
Like,
It do. And it be so crazy because you be like, what? That don't even make sense. Like,
like, why are you concerned about these people's sales? Like, what is going on? But he felt the need to talk on it, and I was like, well, damn.
That's
Woo.
wild. That's
Because
wild.
I'm like, my book is probably gonna be 25. So I don't know what price bracket you gonna sell your book in, but sir, we want to at least cover the expenses. You know what I'm saying? Like, wait, what? Okay, let me fall back. Let me fall back. It just be
Good.
funny. It just be funny. It just be funny. But I love it though. You get to see people and experience people. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful. Woo. Okay. Next question.
I'm dead.
Oh man. How is the poetry community down in Florida poetically soulful?
Listen. Okay, so I've only been to a couple of different poetry scenes down here. I do have to get uh into the poetry scene a lot more. I just be so busy working,
Mhm.
doing the magazine, uh, kids, family, so I don't get to go out as much. But on the open mics and the poetry scenes that I have been on, um, they don't happen often here. Even with
Mm,
me doing researching and trying to find more poetry scenes to go to, they don't happen that often here. It may be
mm.
like once a month or so, but I feel like that's not often enough for as
Right.
many poets that I know are out here. I know there's a lot of poets, but I feel like a lot of people are scared to showcase that, and I'm one of those people. Um,
Mm,
I can write poetry all I want. I can bang out a poem right now before the end of this show and be just fine.
mm.
Um, but if you ask me to get up on a stage and recite, It's a little different for me. So I mean, I feel like I'm not the only one, and there's probably plenty of poets out here in South Florida, that are the same way. And maybe that's why they don't have that many poetry, scenes out here. But I've heard
Mhm.
of a couple of different poets out in South Florida, mostly Miami, which is a little further south than where I am, either Miami or up north near Orlando. So
Mhm.
I'm kind of stuck in the middle of that.
Mm.
So where I specifically am, I don't see that much activity, but I hope to soon be closer to like Tampa and Orlando, where I
Mhm.
hear the poetry scene is absolutely amazing. So yeah.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So do you think that it would benefit if people started more open mic nights out there? Like if people, you know what I mean? Like if somebody started a platform, do you think it would do well, or do you think that the poets would be too nervous to come out and actually perform?
No, I think it would be well. Everyone here wants something to do that
Mm,
doesn't require us driving all the way to Miami. So
mm,
there's a lot of different events. They just don't like. There's even like open mic nights at like Mr. Krabs, like
mhm,
crab
mhm,
spot, and stuff
mhm,
like that. So like
mhm,
if more of those things happen and more
mhm,
people knew about them,
mhm.
then I feel like it would definitely benefit this area a lot better.
Would
Nice,
you ever
nice.
do one yourself? Like, would you ever start doing a show yourself?
I thought about it, to be honest.
Mm.
I definitely
Mhm,
thought about it. It is something that I do look to do in the future. Because I feel
mhm,
as though it would benefit where I currently live. And I've always people have always told me like if it's not there, then make it there. Um,
mhm,
so
mhm,
like if we don't have the platform to currently do it now, then I need to make that platform so that people can come out, so that people can have a safe area to come out with no drama, no extra stuff. Just something different, which is poetry. A lot of people like poetry. They just,
mhm.
they ain't got nowhere to go. So yeah, I think I could do that in the future.
Mm.
Right, 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 right. Yeah. Mhm, mhm. So
Right, right.
because I was thinking about how you said like people like poetry and they'll come out, right? There's a restaurant chain out here called Bus Boys and Poets in DC, and they have locations in Maryland too. And it's in a restaurant. So Bus Boys and Poets is a restaurant. However, they cater to the arts as well. Like so, they have local artists work along the walls of the restaurant, and then they have designated nights for open mic night, and people in the restaurant, you know what I mean, they'll just come over, you know what I mean, they'll come over, pay their little $8 or $5 for their ticket and come join. So it made me think about that when you said that,
Yeah,
it's a wide open market is the idea. Like it's a wide open market because there's a lot of people that enjoy poetry that would never want to perform. However, they do want to come and sit and listen and have that experience. So yeah, definitely keep it on your list. Then me and Tiffany
absolutely.
Marie could come down to Fort Lauderdale and come
Sure,
support your platform.
for sure.
Let's
Hmm.
go. Yeah, I just want the beaches. Don't
No,
say it's
I'm
for the
already
poetry.
coming down before the platform for the beaches. Okay, don't get it
Okay,
twisted. Already coming.
coming to bless the stage first.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah. Oh, I
Period.
know that's right. I know that's right. Let
Period.
Tiffany be your first feature. Look at that. You already got a feature lined up.
Look
You
at
ain't even got a platform and got a feature. I know that's right, girl.
two features, right? Two features.
Right.
Uh, okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. So you got two features for two different events, and all you got to do is set everything up, and here we
Create
come.
the opportunity.
There you go.
Yes. That's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Come on
But
and I'll come.
foresight is important.
Yeah,
Foresight is
absolutely.
important, and being able to speak it out is what allows for it to, start planting them seeds for it to be created. So look at you
Hmm.
manifesting. Look at
For
Yeah.
you.
sure.
Now, now,
You
if I
have to,
call y'all in a couple months, don't be like, well.
no, you got
Not
call,
at
but
all.
you have to bring this vision to a stage. You got the magazine, you have the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have to bring it
Mm-hmm.
further out to a stage, to a forefront.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I like y'all vision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like it.
Well, we just here to add on to what you
Hmm.
already see.
Okay.
Period. So what type of poetry do you both like to listen to? Like if you go out to a poetry event, what catches your mind the most? Is it the erotic poems? Is it the soft spoken poems? The F that dude poems? Like what is it? Like what poem genre kind of?
I like the spoken word poetry, whatever falls in that genre of poetry. So, like storytelling, I guess I would say. I
Mm,
like the storytelling poetry that actually has like a beginning, middle, and an end to it. Something you
mm,
can visualize while sitting there that actually makes you, that gets you interested into it. Because if I can sit here and, and visualize like I'm watching this movie, but you're just really just speaking words, that to me, that's going to keep me interested. So I like
mm-hmm,
that type of poetry, storytelling type of poetry, whatever story you telling, as long as it makes sense and it got good beginning, middle, and end. I like that type of poetry.
Gotcha.
mm-hmm. So I'm gonna throw the blanket out there and say I like all expressions of poetry because I I respect the art, right? So I like all forms of poetry. Now, if I had to choose just one to listen to, it would be the one that is delivering a message, right? It's the one that's actually saying something that touches my heart and it causes me to reflect or think or expand in my thoughts.
Hmm.
I definitely love the storytelling. Like Tiffany said, I love the storytelling. It's a lot of dope poets that are really great storytellers. Um, However, I really resonate with the ones that, that it's a message and the
Hmm.
message is to add to you. You know what I mean? Not just they getting
Hmm.
up there popping their shit, but like they got a message that if you really listen, you could walk away with a jewel. You know what I mean? And whatever expression you perceive the jewel, not that it's just one faceted, but like all three of us could be in a place and we could walk away with a jewel and it'd be three different perspectives of the
Right.
Hmm.
same jewel. You know what I mean? But
Definitely.
that's the kind of poetry I like. A little different.
Nice. It ain't that different. I feel as though both of you guys, both of the genres that you guys like is something I definitely like. I'm really big on punchlines, like something that
Mm,
make me be like, ooh, like yeah. Like that's it.
mhm,
Those are the ones that make me turn my head. I'm gonna listen to all poetry.
mhm,
Poetry
mhm,
in a sense, like spoken word poetry. Definitely want to listen to that story. I definitely want to leave the entire event, whatever poetry event I go to. I definitely want to leave it with something that makes me think and makes me make my life better in a way. Like,
mhm,
okay, so he said this, like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. Let me start doing this to make my life better. Based
mhm.
off of what somebody else said. But them punchlines made me turn my head. Like, yeah,
Yes, yes,
that,
yes,
that
yes.
was it. That was it.
Yeah. It be that moment where you be like, damn, I should have wrote that. Like, what?
That
What is
part.
what is that? Yeah,
I ain't
yeah.
think of that one.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Yeah. 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 Yep.
So let's get deeper into the person. Poetry aside,
He's frozen.
deeper.
Everybody,
Who
wait, is that my signal?
I'm not
What
frozen.
what
I'm
is going
frozen.
I,
on?
I'm not frozen. Okay, everybody's back.
Y'all buffering and breaking up? Is it just me?
Yeah, ain't nobody
Yeah,
buffer or
I
no,
break
think it's
up.
yeah.
just me. What is going
We
on?
all here like somewhere. So let's get deeper into the person itself. Poetry aside,
Hmm.
um, of course, if there's anything you don't want to talk about, don't talk about it. Just say, rather not talk about that, but talk about something else. Um, so poetry, Queen, since you kind of left, I just saw that you kind of buffering. Tiffany, is she buffering on your end?
Mm-hmm. She's stuck on my end.
she buffer.
Okay, there she goes. She go.
She go. Okay, so Tiffany Marie, this is to you. Um, so let me think. We do a lot of poetry, and you say a lot of poetry. A lot of people think poetry is all sad, and
Hmm.
poetry is sad and emotional. But you
Hmm.
said you try to express to other people, like show them something different. With you showing them something different, what's that different? Like, what would you say is different about your poetry? Like, what have you gone through in life that makes you not want to write the sad and emotional poetry, but makes you want to write something else?
Um, Me myself, as a poet, I don't like sad emotional poetry.
Okay.
I actually dislike to hate. I not hate. I actually dislike to have to sit there and listen to it at a
Okay.
poetry event. But I will. I just don't like that type of poetry because I feel like some stuff shouldn't be shared. If that makes sense, especially if it makes you sad. I don't like poetry that makes me cry. I don't want to cry. I don't like that type of poetry. So I try to stem away from writing sad stuff.
Okay.
My type of poetry, the things that I write about, the stories that I tell, I guess I'm one of those F a Negro, F a female dog. I guess I'm one of those, but I also talk about like loving yourself, loving, every part of your body, regardless of how you look. I talk a lot about relationships because I've been through a lot of broken relationships, whether that's friendships, relationships with like your friends, your family, or a guy or whoever. So that's a lot of the stuff of what I talk about. A lot of my poems are going to be about relationships, whether that's a good relationship poem or a bad relationship poem, because that's a lot of what I've been through. And I can feel like I can relate a lot to a lot of the younger folk and some of
Mhm.
the older folk too as well, because everybody I ain't gonna say everybody, but everybody, some people have went through relationship issues, and we all can relate in some way
Got
to what I'm saying. So that's kind of the type of poetry I deliver. I do erotic as well. I try to stem away from erotic sometimes though, because I get too vulgar. I like to tell stories, so I like to get deep in detail, and I give a lot of detail. And so if it's not one of those erotic type of events, I don't need to be at it.
I
um,
understand.
but other than that, I stay away from the sad. I don't too much like the sad poetry myself. I really just dislike to sit there and listen to it. I will, but it's just not my type of thing. I like to just talk about broken relationships, things that other people can relate to. Things like Queen Essence said, you can leave with a message.
Mhm.
A lot of the times people need that advice and don't know how to ask for it, so you can get it through poetry. That's the type of poetry I like to write.
Nice, nice, nice. Queen Essence, welcome back.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So
What
what we were
disrespectful signal.
what we were chatting about is just basically what have you gone through life that reflects on like the type of poetry that you write. Like I
Mm,
was telling Tiffany Marie, she stated that she doesn't like the sad poetry and the emotional poetry, and she tries to give people something else to come out to. So I was asking her, what was that something else? Like, what type
mm.
of poetry does she prefer to do to make people come out? So what I'll ask you is, you stated that um, the poetry scene out where you are is can be competitive. So what makes your poetry, I would say, different? What makes your life story different? Not necessarily your poetry. What makes your life story different, so that a person that doesn't initially like poetry would still want to come hear you? Like, what
Mm.
what in life makes your life story different for someone who doesn't like poetry to listen to?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
Most of my questions are.
So I feel like it's several reasons or several ideas. However, if I had to put it in a synopsis, I would say that my poetry incorporates a down to earth aspect. right? Like I speak about, I only speak about what I know, right? Like I don't write nothing about some other far off. I write about things that I know, things that I've experienced, and the way that I view what I've gone through, I think is the part that causes people to want to come back and listen. So it's like there's a level that you can relate, right? Like Tiffany Marie shared about, heartbreak, right? I might have a poem where it's talking about a dude that did me dirty, right? Just hypothetically, right? Like a dude did me
Mhm.
dirty, so I'm telling a story, right? But
Mhm.
then by the end of the poem, like I'm giving him flowers, you know what I mean? I'm thanking him for the experience. I'm grateful that we crossed paths and I've grown. You know what I'm saying? Like I've
Right.
elevated as a result of what we went through. And I feel like that positive twist, on regular situations that normally like would have you in a lower frequency, is what causes my poetry to be attractive to people. Um, so yeah, I think in a short synopsis, it would be because of the way I'm able to offer a different perspective on whatever it is that I'm talking about, and I think that it's relatable. I think my poetry, at least the theme or the idea that I'm speaking about, the way I say it may not necessarily be relatable. To be like, what she say? The stars, the moon, the what the hell? Um, how's she meeting him on Orion? You know what I'm saying? Like what? Um, however, the idea, like even with that particular poem, like the idea of speaking to the person that I want to love. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to love. I want to love. I feel like, love is attractive to people. It's just like people haven't experienced it enough, right? People don't know how to really identify it, but it's like it's a frequency and a vibration you feel when like, oh wow, that feels like love. You know what I mean? Like that felt good. So yeah, short version. I think, hopefully
I
somebody can
love it.
co-sign. Hopefully somebody can co-sign. Yeah, that's what I experienced.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So here's a not so deep question. Well, I lied. It's deep when you think about it. When you think about it. Because you both mentioned love and its entirety. What
Hmm.
is love? Love is a lot of different things to a lot of
Hmm.
different people. Love
That's a
is one
fact.
of those things that has many meanings. So what is love to the host of Wide Awoke Wednesday?
I'll yield to you first, Tiffany, since I just spoke.
Love to me is peace.
Hmm.
I don't like broken love. I don't like drama filled love. I'm very non confrontational. I don't like bad love. I'm one of those people who didn't get a lot of love as a kid. So growing up, that's a lot of what I yearn for, which is like what real love would feel like or be like. I don't know exactly what it would be or what it would feel like or what it's supposed to feel like. But what I can tell you is supposed to be peaceful in my eyes anyway. It's supposed
Hmm.
to bring you a lot of peace. It's supposed to be like a safe space for you. That's what I think love is to me. I don't particularly have like a definition because I haven't really been able to experience it. But look, love to me is peace. It's a safe space. It's a peace of mind.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I can. I'm in harmony with that. Um, I think that love is a frequency. It's a vibration, right? And
Mhm.
it's something that's felt. And I feel
Mhm.
like oftentimes we feel it. And because, like Tiffany said, like it's unfamiliar. So I feel like most people don't know how to label it. They don't know how to identify when they feel it. However, one of the um, components that lets you know that it's love is, like Tiffany said, you experience peace, you experience safety, you experience security, stability, just in the frequency. This is not even anybody doing anything for you. This is not somebody, paying your bills or, wifing you up or, none of that. It's just the frequency and vibration itself automatically causes you to feel protected, to feel stability, to feel um loved. You know what I mean? To feel loved. And I think that because we are individual people with our own individual design and makeup, that love in the physical looks different for everybody, right? That's
Absolutely.
why, like Tiffany said, she don't want no hurt love. She don't want a love that hurt. However, for some people, it ain't love if it don't hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because of the frequency that they're on and the frequency that they're familiar with, that love vibrates in, right? If it don't have no hurt attached to it, it's like, you don't really care about me, you don't really love me because, you not, spazzing out because I did this, or, whatever that is. So I think love is a frequency. I think it's an energy. And I think that it produces a reality or an experience that oftentimes is hard to express. However, you can feel it. And then once you can feel it and you sit in it, then you can utilize your words to articulate it.
Gotcha. I like those answers. Look at y'all. Look at y'all. Love it.
That's why we're the
Absolutely.
hosts of Wide Awoke Wednesday, because we be
Period.
going deep.
I'm woke now. That's wild.
So what about you? What's love to you? What's your definition of what love would be like?
Um, love to me, love is everything but unsure. If
Mm,
I don't know if I love you, I don't.
mhm,
Love isn't unsure. Love, you know, when you love someone. Um,
mhm,
like, I said earlier, love can be many different things. Love
mhm,
can be painful at times. Because when you love someone that's done something to you, it hurts, but it's still
mhm,
love nonetheless. I still love you, and the reason I'm still here is because I love you. So love can be painful. Love can be joy. Love can be just seeing you walk into a room and realizing like, shit, this is it. Love can be a lot. I am a very emotional human being.
mm,
So for me, love is a lot. And if I were to tell anyone that I love them, that means a lot coming from me. That means that I am willing to give my all and my everything. I am willing to set aside myself to make you happy, to make you everything you need to be. Like you said, Queen Essence Love is definitely a vibration. It's
mhm,
definitely
mhm.
a loaded question. love is
Definitely,
love is
definitely,
loaded. Love is
it
definitely
definitely
loaded.
is. Mm,
It's a lot. Um, but love is rewarding, if anything else.
mhm,
Just because
mhm.
love did not work out with one person does not mean that you give up on love. It
Right.
just means that you try again. Because at the end of the day, when you find that person that you need to love, and that can be like relationship wise, that could be friendship wise.
Mhm.
I have plenty of friends. Some are just friends. Some
Right.
I love to the end of earth. Like I would do anything for them. Like that's my dog. Like,
Mm,
yeah, so like love is a multitude of things, but if anything, it's never unsure and it's very rewarding.
yes. I
That
can
makes
agree.
sense.
What are you all's thoughts on like time periods? Like, are you all individuals that feel like, love at first sight is real? Do you feel like you got to know somebody for 3 months, 6 months, a year, 3 years before you can actually really say you love somebody? Like, what are y'all thoughts on that?
Um, Personally, me myself, I'm a believer of love at first sight. I am. I'm
Hmm.
young still though, so I still got some growing to do. I still got some learning to do.
Why
But
you say that?
because me being young, I still have growing to do. I'm not where other grown women are, if that makes sense. Older women, if that makes sense of what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm still learning. When you're younger, you don't have it all, you don't know it all, you still have a lot to learn. That's kind of where I'm
Right.
going with that. Um, but I am a believer of love at first sight. Um, I am not a person. I mean, I will wait. It's 3 months, 6 months, however long. But I feel like, why wait if you know that this is what you want? and then
Mhm.
getting to know a person, people change every day. So the person that I'm getting to know within these first 3 months is not going to be the same person in the next 3 months. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's people change every day and they wake up different every day. So I would hate to miss out on something that can possibly be great because I want to take my time and I don't know. Me,
Mhm.
I'm a lover at first sight. If I feel like the vibe is there, we are really hitting it off. There's good conversation. You're really showing interest in me, and this is going both ways. I feel like let's give this a try. Let's really do this, and it could
Mhm.
really be someone that you love at first sight. I'm a believer of that. I don't think it takes time. I'm not one of them people that feel like it's gonna take 5 to 10 years for you to tell me that you want to marry me. It don't
Mhm.
take that long. It don't,
Mhm.
because you're never
Mhm.
going to fully know a person. They change. People change.
Absolutely.
So
Right. Right. I agree. How about you, poetically soulful?
So for me, time is of the essence. No, sorry, I just had to. I don't know why. I had to. Uh, sorry. That's been in my
That
head
was
since you said that.
cute. That was cute.
Um, Okay, so when it comes to love, I don't believe time is a factor at all.
Mhm.
Is there a such thing as love at first sight? Absolutely. You can look at somebody and just your body gets certain feel, like a certain feeling to it, where it's
Mhm.
kind of like you can't even explain it yourself. Like when
Mhm.
somebody be like, "Well, how can I don't know?" To be honest, I have
mhm.
no idea. Like I don't know. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Like, I can't tell you why I love this person so hard, but it is what it
Mm,
is at the end of the day,
mm,
and that has nothing at all to do with time. Um,
mhm,
I can wait years, to say I love someone, absolutely I can, but like, Tiffany Marie said, if I'm waiting until, "Oh, I have to get to know this person," everyone changes every day, like, you're never gonna get to know the full extent of every person, because even if at the beginning of our relationship I like mac and cheese. At the end of it, I got lactose intolerant. I don't like it no more.
mhm,
Like, so
mhm,
it changes. Like everything changes. So
Mhm.
when it comes to love itself, um no, I can kind of tell, like, straightforward, like just meeting somebody, our first conversation, I can tell if we gonna click. I can tell if
Mhm.
like things is gonna like rise and shine. I can tell if you're gonna be stuck with me for the rest of your life. Like I can tell all of that um from our first couple conversations. So
Mhm.
I don't think time matters at all. Um at all, really. How about
I
you, Queen?
agree. I agree with both of you, and I think it goes back in harmony with the idea I was sharing about love being a frequency, right? It's an energy.
Yeah.
And I think like when you feel the energy to willingly choose to say like I'm not going to love this person, or I'm not going to allow myself to feel what I feel, or I'm not going to express it to this person. It's like restricting the energy. It's like if it was a hose and it was flowing, you just came along and put the little dent in it, and now you holding the dent in it and it's not flowing because of you feel like it's too soon. And I'm also a person that feels like love doesn't have to be earned. Like you don't got to do nothing spectacular to
Yeah.
experience love from me. I give love to people every day. When I'm interacting with people, when I see people on the street, smiling at them, holding the door, all of that is an expression of love. And I feel like because it's an energy that is so free flowing, we should go with the flow of how the energy flows. And if it stops flowing, then have some honest conversations that it ain't flowing no more. You know what I'm saying?
It
But,
ain't.
you know what I'm saying? But I think that we short ourselves of the beauty of being human, right? Because there's a whole bunch of other stuff that we experience being human, navigating being here on earth, that is not loving, right? Like it doesn't feel like love at all, right? However, we embrace that or we go towards that, right? But when it comes to experiencing love, we feel like it got to have all of these boxes checked and, all of these restrictions placed on it. And we limit the kind of experience that we could have here. Like it could be way more enjoyable if we just allow the frequency of love to flow. love to flow. So yeah, I definitely believe, or I definitely know that love at first sight is real, especially, I don't want to get too deep. However, especially when you come across somebody that, like, there's a familiarity with them, right? Like, you've never met them before in this physical world, but like, it's a familiarity energetically. So they could be somebody from your past life that you've already loved, and the love never went nowhere because energy can't be destroyed. It's just, transmuted or
Mm-hmm.
redirected. So it's like the love that I have for you in that past, like, that love still exists. So when I'm in your presence, so when I look in your eyes, it's like, boy, I love you, right? You know I love you, right? And it could be I just met you 2 hours ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely think that it is a real thing, and I think we should embrace it more. Even like you
Mm-hmm.
share in friendships, poetically, it friendships, like I said, strangers, romantic. I think if we embraced it could cause quite a shift in the world as we are experiencing right now, if love was to radiate and flow. And that's why, like, I'm on this love mission, like, I'm on this love revolution, like, opening up heart chakras and
Mm-hmm.
allowing love to flow, because I feel like if we did that, again, it would change the reality, it would change the experience. We would look at life from a different perspective if love was interwoven in everything we did, and not love to, like, get things, like, I love this bag, you know what I'm saying? I love getting this buddy, like, I love the hustle, I love to grind. Like, not not that kind of love, not that.
That's wild. So based off of what you just said, Queen Essence, when you said about the water holes, like people cutting it off and things like that. What
Hmm.
I was thinking when you said that is the fact that even if you do cut it off, it's still in the tubes. It's still there. You're just preventing yourself. Um, you're still feeling it. You're just not showing it, or you're not expressing it to everyone else. But it's still there, and I think
Hmm.
that's what people get stuff confused. Like, even though you're not allowing yourself to feel it, you're still feeling it because it's still there. It's still
Right.
there, and you know it's there. You're just not sharing it with the other people. Which is why I'm somebody personally who, if I feel a certain way, I'ma tell you. I may be
Hmm.
scared to tell you, but Imma tell you nonetheless because it is how I feel. And,
Right.
if everybody was like that, life would be so much easier. Like, ain't nobody hiding nothing, ain't nobody holding
Right.
nothing in. And just because I tell you or I say, in a way in which how I feel, that doesn't mean I'm acting on anything or I'm doing anything. I just
Right.
want people to know, like, this is what it is. And it's such a love and such an amazing feeling when you can get
Hmm.
stuff off your chest and you could just be free about it. That's pretty dope.
I totally agree, and I feel like that it is an expression of vulnerability, right?
Mm-hmm.
You allow yourself to be vulnerable to say how you feel, and it don't got nothing to do with the other person's response and reaction and how they receiving, and are they gonna love me too? I'm going to honor myself and what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. And it brings me peace to get it out of my head. It gives me peace to know that regardless of what happens after this, And I kept it real with myself, which introduces an energy in this exchange for you to keep it real with me too. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's where we are as a culture. People are like holding things back. They're not allowing themselves to be vulnerable for their own reasons. Some people have been taken advantage of and they've been hurt, and that's
Absolutely.
understandable. However, at the same time, it's important to honor ourselves. And I think that's a beautiful expression. And that's a sense of freedom too. Like, when you can honor yourself and how you feel and how you think, you operate in a level of freedom that a lot of people isn't even familiar with.
Absolutely. So to reverse all of this back around to poetry. Bam, let's get it back. So Miss Tiffany Marie, you do poetry on pretty much advice, giving advice to certain people.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say would be one of the main things you want to give people advice on? Like if you had a woman right now. I need advice. I'm not telling you what for, but I just need it. What advice are you giving me?
Just to always love yourself, no matter the outcome of a situation. Um, and that's always my message. So. So that mainly. Always love yourself, because sometimes some of these situations we go through can really minimize our character, or can really just make us feel a certain type of way, or look at ourselves a certain type of way, or really hate ourselves. And me going through those motions before from a relationship, I actually can just tell another woman, always love yourself through it all. Always believe and trust your gut, because it's never going to be wrong. Um, and that's just the advice that I give all the time, no matter the situation, because it can go for anything. Always love yourself at the end of any situation, and always trust your gut, because you're never wrong. Go with what you feel. Go with what you know and what you feel all the time.
Absolutely. How about you, Queen Essence? If you were, well, you said your poetry was mainly on, it always has a meaning to it. Um,
Hmm.
no matter what, it always has a meaning. So, what is the main topic that you would want to tell your people? Like, this is happened through life. This is what I'm an expert on. Like, this is what I can give you. If you can give an energy right now, what would it be?
I think the energy that I would give is um, you are not a victim to your circumstances.
Mm.
And everything that you experience was for a divine reason to bring you to where you're going, to usher you to the direction or the destination that you're going. And if you can simply look for the light in whatever the situation is, that you'll be able to find your way out. It's the looking for the light in whatever is happening that offers the solution to get out of the situation, and then look back on it, and back on it with fondness, with appreciation, with gratitude, because of what you received from being in that situation. And I feel like that's the overall message in a variety of ways that a lot of my poems offer to the people who are willing to actually listen. You know what I mean? I feel like with poetry, a lot is missed because people are paying attention to like the rhythm of like
Mm.
the rhyming, or looking for the punchline, or looking for the, however, poets really be saying so much that
Absolutely.
you really got to take your time and listen to the different. Ooh, I didn't even hear he said that. Like, damn, man, she really hit on that, because I remember when I experienced it. Da, 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 da. You know what I mean? So I feel like my poetry is like that. At least I think it is. I think it is. I believe it is. I believe it is.
No, both of you guys have. I believe you both hit the mark on what your poetry provides for other people. Like I said, I've looked at videos of both of you guys, and exactly what you say your poetry is exactly what you're delivering. So that's pretty dope. That's pretty awesome. One
Yay.
day you'll hear me. One day.
Okay, well, until such time, what are your thoughts on what you offer your listeners or your readers? Because we know, you have a following on the other magazine that you work for, that you write for. What is your audience receiving from your poetry?
Yeah. So shout out to Blackout Magazine. They have
Shout
done
out.
tremendous from the very very start of everything, which was about 2 to 3 years ago. I started off when she started off, and we just been rocking since. I think I took about a year off from the magazine, um, and then she the one who brought me back, and when she brought me back, that's when I kind of ignited my love for poetry again, and poof, Post Poetry Magazine came about. But what my readers pretty much get from my poetry alone is
There we go again with my signal.
your signal down again. Your signal don't love us today. Yep, there it goes. I was waiting for it. I'm like, where's that? It's gonna happen. Um, okay, so I'll continue. I know she'll be back. So pretty much what readers get from my poetry is to keep standing, to
Mm.
keep going, to keep moving, no matter what you go through. We all go through stuff in life, and it's different levels that we all go through. Some is very heavy. Some people have simple lives. Some people go through the ringer. But no matter which life you uphold, just keep moving. It's not the end of the world. Um, it is possible to recover from anything you've been through, traumatic or not. It's possible to recover. You just have to make the steps to continue to move. And that's pretty much what I just try to explain to people. I write a lot of poetry about stuff I've been through, and I also write
Mhm.
poetry for other people. I believe I saw in one of your Facebook posts, Tiffany, when you said you do poetry for the voiceless. Um,
Mhm.
that's always been something that that's always been my goal, is to write poetry for people who don't have a voice. So I was
Mhm.
really ecstatic when I saw that you had wrote that in one of your posts before, because a lot of people don't know how to write poetry, but a lot of people have a lot to say. So I
Yeah.
do,
Mhm.
in the Blackout magazine. I do, and I will be having people like send me emails and stuff of stuff they go through, and I will be writing poetry based off of what they've gone through, as if it's
Mhm.
them, just to give them a voice and a platform. Because I know if one person is going through it, another person could be going through the same thing too, and just
That's
need
true.
some advice and some help. So that's one thing I do with a lot of poetry I write. I write it based off of what I've been through, but also based off of what people tell me, as far as what they're
Mhm.
going through. So just keep standing, keep moving, keep living. We gonna get through anything and everything. As long as we all have each other as a human race, there's always someone. No one is alone. Like, you're not alone. People may feel as though they're alone in certain situations, but you're not. There's someone out here who cares. Always. They may not
Mhm.
have told you, but they're out here and they care.
Mhm.
And they care if something happens. So most of my poetry is just based off of that. Just keep moving and live life.
Mhm. Mhm.
Welcome back, Miss Essence.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, so two ideas came to mind. If I may, Tiffany, is that fine?
God, yeah.
Okay. So one, so we've all been writing poetry for years, right? So back in like 2002, 2003, I used to write commission pieces for people based on what you just shared, Poetically Soulful, about, people, they have their experiences and they want to speak up. However, their voice, their throat chakra is closed. So they're
Mhm.
not able to articulate it themselves. So I would sit and I would listen and I would take some notes, and then I would go and I would write them a poem that expressed their story and where they're at, and then give it to them. And I've had people, like grown men, like bust out in tears that what they want to say is right here in front of them, right? Like, it's been said. So I think that that is a form of a superpower, that you have, to be able to do that, because it actually takes, like, you have to listen, and you have to be intentional on listening, and then you have to be intentional on not adding your own stuff in there. You know what I mean? And just really be integrity about what people are experiencing, and then presenting it to them in a genuine way. So I think that's really beautiful, that your readers get to experience that. And I think it's real powerful. And I'm also in harmony. And that's probably why we all vibe together too, because I feel like I also speak for people. I'm a voice for the voiceless too. And I think it has a lot to do with people's throat chakras being like closed. You know what I mean? Different experiences causes us to feel like our voice isn't valuable, like what we've gone through and what we've experienced, and nobody cares and nobody wants to hear. And it goes to the other idea that you shared too, Poetically Soulful, about nobody's alone. And I feel like there's a reason for everything, right? Like, there's always a reason. And I'm spiritual, so I always go to the spiritual with what is happening. And oftentimes when a person is finding that they're by themselves, it's by a divine reason that you're by yourself. So if you feel like you by yourself, I would encourage, any of our viewers, if you feel like you're by yourself, like, go inward to ask, like, why do you feel like you're by yourself? And usually you feel like you're by yourself because it's something in you that causes you to feel like you need to be by yourself. Because, like you shared, you're never by yourself. There's always somebody you can call. You know what I mean? Whether you think they can understand or not, or they can relate or not, there's always somebody that you can call. But it's something in us that says, I'm by myself, so I'm not going to call nobody, or it don't even come to your mind who to call because you're so in I'm by myself. But it's like, why do you feel that way? And usually that's tied to an abandonment wound, but that's another episode. But just, to cause us to really like think and explore, because these are real thoughts that we have. I know I've had it. I've gone through a phase in my life where whenever I was going through something, I knew it was somebody that I could call, but I couldn't remember it because in reality, I didn't want to call because I didn't feel like they was going to understand anyway. You can't really help me. So why I'm going to call you and tell you my business and you're not really going to be able to help me. But then with growth and evolution, you realize that, that's a defense mechanism, to protect yourself and keep yourself, in a space where you're not really evolving. But again, it's all for a divine reason because you got to go inward to recognize that, right? You got to recognize why you feel like that. So yeah, that's my little 2 cents to the conversation now that I'm back.
That was a nice comeback. Nice comeback. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. That was a nice comeback. I'll give you that one. So while you were talking though, remember when we were
Mhm.
talking about this little open mic thing or this little thing I need to do, right?
Mhm.
So when you was talking, I think I got a title. Y'all ready?
Oh,
Y'all ready?
yes.
Y'all ready?
Yes.
So it's gonna be the voiceless have spoken.
I like
What?
that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Bam, bam, bam.
I
I
like that.
love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
111 on the clock. Look at the
Okay.
confirmation. Let's get
Okay.
it. I
I
love
love it.
that.
Nah,
That's
I
beautiful.
don't know what made me think of that while you were talking, but when all three of us were just saying like, having that voice for the voiceless is beneficial. Um
Hmm.
Mhm.
so obviously the voiceless have to speak.
Thank
So
you.
hey,
Mhm.
we're gonna speak on that
And
platform
then the,
whenever it comes.
and then the acronym is VHS.
Mm.
Yeah.
VHS. Voiceless have spoken.
Hmm.
What?
Period.
What? Bring
Take
it
it back
back
to
to
the
the
day.
VHS players. Okay.
Tape it up. Hit the record button.
Yes. Sit and watch the show. Okay. Okay.
Period. I love it. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, I think we all rock. I think we all rock.
We do. We do. Any last moment questions? Tiff, you ain't got no questions? You got some questions? I feel like you got some questions.
Mm-mm, I don't got no questions.
No questions?
No questions.
Like, mm-mm.
He said,
I
not this
ain't got
time.
it.
Not
Not
this
not this
time.
time. I
I
actually enjoyed the flow of the conversation, so I really don't have no questions at all. I didn't
That's
even come
awesome.
prepared. I just was like, you know what, we just gonna talk, and so I don't got no
Mhm,
questions. No.
mhm.
Absolutely. So where can people find Miss Tiffany Marie?
All social media at I am Tiffany underscore Marie and on Apple Music and Spotify and YouTube. Tiffany
Ooh.
Marie. Yeah.
Oh, you
Let's
got some
get it.
Spotify?
Let's get
I do have
it.
Spotify, I do have Apple Music, and I do have you can find like my poems on like your story on your Instagram or your Facebook or your Snapchat. You can type my name in and my pieces will come up and you can use them to post in like your stories and on your videos and different things like that. I do have Apple Music as well. I actually just dropped my album called The Voiceless. So you need to go ahead and do that
Hey.
show. You gotta do that show.
Yes,
Hey.
yes. Look at these synchronicities coming together. I love it.
I love that. So tell me about the voiceless real quick.
It's just an album of pieces. So I did the album completely blind, meaning I didn't go to my producer or engineer. He didn't mix and master anything. I left it raw because I wanted people to hear the emotion in my voice when I said it and how I
Mm,
felt when I did it. And then all the pieces on the album is basically speaking up for the voiceless. So I got a piece on there called The Black Sheep, just basically speaking up for people who feel as though they're black sheeps in their family. I got a piece on
mhm,
there called Insecurities about all the girlies who feel like because she got her body done and she looks like this and she has this long hair and this and that, I have to look this way too. And so they
mm.
insecurity get the best of them. I have that piece on there. But these are things that people can't speak about or just don't want to speak about because maybe they're embarrassed or whatever. So this is me giving the voiceless a voice. And I put all the pieces together on the album and I called it The Voiceless.
That is
Period.
so
I
dope,
love it.
Tiffany.
Yeah.
I
Love
love
it.
it.
Love it.
Queen Essence, where can we find you?
Okay, so I'm in several places. What we gonna do with the poetry? You can find me poetry on IG and YouTube as Virgo Goddess 777. Um, so I post all of my performances, and then I do some um, just like kickback videos of me doing poems that I haven't performed yet. So you can find all of that over there. I also have a spiritual YouTube channel where, in harmony with the change in the rhythm of thought that we talked about today. It is Shine Your Light 777, and it's Shine Your Light 777, all one word, on YouTube. And I also have a podcast, um, because I have a genuine love for my people. And it's also another expression for shifting your thoughts, and being able to see the positive in things. And that podcast is Black Man and Robin. Black Man is all one word. Robin is Robyn. It is no I, Robyn. And it's a play on Batman and Robin. I don't know if you caught that, but it's a play on Batman and
Absolutely.
Robin, Black Man and Robin.
Absolutely.
Spotify. In my signal. Okay. Can y'all hear me? Y'all buffering. I'm like, what is going on with my signal? So yes, catch me over on all of the platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, and a couple other places, but Black Man and Robin. So that's where you can find me at.
Awesome. Both y'all on Spotify, like, Apple Music. Got y'all like bam.
How about you? Where could everybody find you and your expression?
You are going to find pretty much 95% of my poetry either on Blackout Magazine, or you are going to find it on Post Poetry Magazine. Any free writing I do, um you can always send, if anyone has, situations that they have and they want that piece to speak about, you can always email postpoetrymagazine@gmail.com. And either I, or maybe now even Queen Essence over here, may write you a poem, so that we can, get all that together. But yeah, you
Mhm.
can find me on Blackout Magazine, Post Poetry Magazine, on all social medias. I do randomly write poems on my own personal page. So yeah, we out here.
We
Okay.
out here. We out here. And if I may, before we conclude, put it out there that if there are any poets that come across this episode and you would like to be a guest on our
Yes.
show, send an email to wideawokewednesday@gmail.com, and we will definitely get back to you. Um, a disclaimer, our episodes are normally 30 minutes, because we the crew. I guess we pretty much doing 30 minutes each. So we doing, hour and a half, because it's like 3 interviews in one, right? um, but normally our broadcast is 30 minutes with Tiffany Marie and myself, and we dig deep with the poets. We try not to talk too much about the poetry because we want to know more about the poet behind the poetry and your journey and your life, and really give you a platform to share. So if that resonates with you, tap in with us. You can comment below, on any of the live and streams that you watching, or again, send an email to wideawokewednesday@gmail.com.
Mhm.
So that's all I got.
Absolutely. And do you want to close us out, Queen Essence? You the open closer. You
Oh
the
yeah.
bam.
That's right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was yielding to you. I thought you had that thing covered. Well, it has been a fantastic episode of us being able to chop it up. The crew behind Wide Awoke Wednesday. We hope that you all are more familiar with us, and that you receive something of benefit to add to you on your poetic journey, or just your journey being here on earth. And we look forward to you tapping in with us on, let me get the date, on September 11th. we'll be back for another episode, and we'll be bringing a dope poet to introduce him or her to you all. So thank you for tuning in, whether it be live or playback. Make sure you heart, like, leave a comment, let us know you were here. Leave some evidence that you were here. And until the next time, whoop, 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 excuse me. Until the next time. Until the next time. Peace out.